Okie dokie. Coates Hire Sydney 500 Pro Race Press Conference. It's good to have the champion and the trophy here. Congratulations, Shane Van Gisbergen. I'll keep my role very short once again since we've got lots of journos here. Well done, Garth, second here today. And also Dave Reynolds on an awesome podium, your first for the year and with Erebus. So congratulations on that. Let's start at the end and we'll work our way back maybe. The skid. Did it feel good?
Yeah, I've won this race last 3 years and never been allowed to do a burnout, so hopefully that made up for it.
Talk us through it. Did it go to plan?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Speedway and NASCAR style with the flag, and then, yeah, hooked into it. But, yeah, pretty awesome feeling, nudging up against the fence in front of all the guys there.
Was it just nice to be able to race today without the championship implications?
Yeah, definitely. I had a really good battle with Garth. He was really fast at the start of the stints in all of them, and I felt like my car was pretty good at the end. So he pulled away at the start, and then I ran him down and pulled a pass, and then, you know, from there on he was pressuring me the whole way. So it was pretty cool.
You've got friends all around the world that you race with and against. Where have some of the accolades come in the last 24 hours?
Yeah, it's pretty cool all over, and seeing all those messages come through, and yeah, can't wait to see a lot of those people in Malaysia next week and then in America. So yeah, looking forward to it. And yeah, it's been pretty cool. You know, haven't been able to keep up with all the messages on my phone. It's a pretty nice feeling.
All right, we've got plenty of journos and a couple of microphones.
Garth,
What was that?
Garth, the key point of the race was the lap 23 pit stop where you two made contact. Can you talk, or one of the key points of the race, can you please talk us through your perspective on that?
Yeah, I was doing 40k down pit lane and Shane's guys released him out and didn't have enough room, so we made contact. I didn't back off, so there was contact, but apparently you can do that now, so we race on.
Your team management in the garage during the race and afterwards have said that should have been a penalty. What's your perspective or your opinion?
Oh, well, I haven't swallowed the rule book for a little while, so I'm not sure on the total accuracy of the rule, but it used to be that if you impeded another car in the fast lane, or, you know, if I had to lift or brake or react, then that should have been a penalty, but it hasn't been. So there was a few things go down in the race yesterday that should have been penalties that weren't. So seems like they're loosening it up a bit again.
Shane, it's only fair. I know that from your point of view, it's probably very hard to comment on, but I'd be interested to hear your perspective if you can give it.
Yeah, I obviously couldn't see, didn't have a side mirror, and they told me I was clear, and I definitely obviously felt the bump, but I think my understanding, if it's behind the wheel and it's the rear bumper, it's fine, and didn't feel like it hit the wheel. But yeah, I haven't obviously seen a replay. I can't comment too much, but they made the call, and I'm obviously pretty happy about it.
I don't really think that was the key point of the race, though, to be honest. It was probably when he passed me at the start. That was probably the key point.
Not allowed to make contact in pit lane, are you?
Yeah, behind the wheel.
I think it depends on the colour of the paint of the car.
Okay, yeah. Good call.
You wanted a replay, he's a bit old.
Hey?
He couldn't hear what you were saying. So we're all a bit surprised to see you in here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thanks for that, Paul.
No,
You're
well,
a good bloke, too. I'm surprised to see you back here.
It's all right. But, I mean, what made the difference for you this weekend? You haven't had the sharpest tool all year. How were you able to pick it up and carry it a bit here, or you just get it a bit better?
You got to have a good car no matter what track you go to. And in practice, we did a good job and made the right steps forward, and you know, we would have qualified strong yesterday. We had a really fast car in the race, and you know, we had a strong car today. So you know, it's by my standards, it's actually not surprised at all, because Gold Coast we were quick, another street track. Townsville we were fast, another street track. You know, we're just trying to. We've got like a base sort of set up that we sort of apply at the start of the weekend and try and improve and manage it from there. So yeah, I'm not surprised at all. I actually am. I actually had a horrible race, to be fair. Everything went wrong for me, but we still managed to get third, which is awesome.
Could you roll through
Oh, I can't remember what lap it was, but Shay Davies, like my teammate, stuffed up into the first corner and he rejoined. I nearly drilled him. Like I actually hit him.
He did that when I was behind him.
Yeah, I nearly drilled him. I was like, what is he doing? And then I think Wingcup got a run at me, or Courtney, he was behind me at that point, so I had to defend, and then I was under pressure from there on in. My comms on my helmet fell out about 5 times during the race, and I had to put it in down the front straight, and it was I just managed it. So I ran out of water, boiled myself dry. That was kind of hard work. That's why they gave me a drink in the last pit stop. What else happened? Yeah, heaps of stuff. So actually, yeah, I am surprised to be here. All right, Paul, you won that battle.
Now I think about it.
Yeah.
What about Jamie Wingcup trying to pass through the end? That was a bit
Yeah, that was a really hard battle. Luckily, I had no mirrors because I smashed them. I smashed them all in the shootout. We had none left, so they just had to tape them. They just had to tape up the sides for me. But yeah, apparently he tried to have a pass, but I couldn't see him, so I just turned in and we made a little contact. And yeah, man, I think he was probably faster than me. So but I really wanted this podium probably more than he did, so that's probably why I'm sitting here.
Shane, you've mentioned more than once now that you've achieved a lifetime ambition with this championship.
Yep.
You're 27 years old. You've talked about how Supercars is your number one priority. Do you think that's going to continue on for you, or
Yep.
will you actually eventually look to different pastures?
I think at this stage it's definitely what I always want to do, and I think the changes for the future are exciting, and when things are changing and evolving, it's always good, and a new challenge is always welcome. So yeah, I think with the new motors and cars in a year or two, I think that's going to be great, and then we'll see where it goes in the future. But as I said yesterday, every time I go racing, I come back here, it's the best series, best drivers, best racing. Like, I love it. So yeah, for the foreseeable future, I'll be here.
What do you expect from Jamie Wingcup next year? You've actually been more consistent than him in the second half of the series. What do you expect to face from him in 17?
Yeah, I just had that conversation with the Fox guys. I think a lot of people were surprised that it was my car that was the consistent one this year, not the fastest one. So yeah, as a driver, I've always been my harshest critic on making mistakes, and I think I've really improved that this year. So for me, it's a pretty cool moment to win it on consistency. Jamie was really fast at a lot of races this year, so I need to pick up my game, and now that I've found the consistency, search for some speed again. So he's a very good qualifier. So yeah, I've got to step that up a little bit more too.
But do you expect him to be stronger next year than what he has been this year?
Oh yeah, he doesn't like losing. It's one of his strengths. He's a very motivated guy, and I think he'll come back stronger than ever next year. And I'm really looking forward to the battle. It's been awesome this year. We've got along really well on and off the track, and I think it's going to be good next year.
Garth, why do you think your car's just so much better on a street circuit than it is on another type of track?
Oh, look, my car's been better from Eastern Creek onwards. It was when we debuted this car. So we're still probably a little bit stronger on street circuits than we are on faster flowing types of circuits. But I think Pukekohe, the car was quite a bit better than where we were 12 months ago. Sandown, obviously pretty strong. Bathurst was pretty strong. So I think the way the HRT go about setting their cars up, it tends to suit street circuits, but I think also James and I probably enjoy street circuits, enjoy the challenge of street circuits, probably are prepared to take more risks on street circuits, whereas on the race tracks you can probably get away with it, whereas on the street circuits you've got to play a bit closer to the limit. So yeah, that's certainly one of the strengths of their cars is street circuits. They're very good on the short corner, they've got good turn and good drive. They haven't got really great mid-corner lateral rear grip. That's what they need to improve.
Shane's already told us what he's expecting for next year. Will you be a contender next year? Will you be contending for race wins wherever you might be going? And the same thing for you, Davey. Is this just a blip, or do you think that you'll be consistently stronger next year? Garth's going to tell me.
Yeah, I expect that if we can put the deal together that I'm working on, then we'll be in a very strong car and capable of winning races and have another crack at the championship.
Yeah, see how it goes. Different tyre next year, so that's going to probably play into the bigger teams because they have a bit more engineering force than we do. But there's no reason if we don't do things methodically and play it smart, we can't be up the front straight away. So, I always try 100% regardless of what track. Or 110, which is probably my drama.
Garth, I imagine scoring a pole position today, quite the relief after having a bit of a drought.
Yeah.
Does that sort of illustrate that you've lost none of your one-lap pace despite the struggles of the past few years?
There's no doubt we went through a bit of a lull qualifying-wise, and Adrian won't agree with me, but certainly when we debuted this new car, if you can put the qualifying average with the old car and then the qualifying average with the new car from Eastern Creek onwards, they're two very different numbers. So, certainly the last 3 or 4 events have been very good for me personally to be able to continue to prove to myself that I'm capable of continuing to do the job, and certainly getting pole here today is probably going to help me sleep a little bit when I'm thinking about qualifying for next year. So I'm not too concerned. You always have a bit of belief, but it's nice to have the results to prove it. It's only one pole, but certainly I'll take it.
And just to clarify, you head into the off-season with no set deal for next year?
At this stage, yes, but I'll go to sleep pretty comfortably tonight.
So you're telling us you're back?
I was never going. I'm just not sure. I'm not telling everyone where I am going.
Okay.
Following on from what Paul asked, question-wise, probably applies to you, David, more than Shane or Garth. Does results reflect the strength of your co-driver or your teammate?
Well, not really, because I've had 3 or 4 different teammates this year, and they've all been rookies. And regardless of how my teammate performs, it doesn't affect my performance at all. I go out and try between 100 and 110% sometimes. So that's where my problem lies.
But in all fairness, Shane's had better results because his teammate is a very strong rival as well as a teammate. Similarly with Garth, with James there, whereas your teammates probably haven't been as strong.
Yeah, well, like that can work, but on the flip side, they've got to beat each other in qualifying, otherwise they get the double stacking scenario. So luckily in the last couple of years that's never happened to me. So yeah, last year was a bit different. We had 3 really competitive drivers and we were always pushing each other. So I can understand your question for sure, but it doesn't change I don't think it changes my performance whatsoever. I go out and try hard, let's say.
Garth, you've had a bit of time now since those days after Sandown to contemplate a change of era for you. And I know you constantly deflect it to the team rather than you personally, but I'm asking for you personally, what are your thoughts about finishing a really strong era for you in the factory setup?
Oh, look, I think, I think the last couple of events have been pretty strong. Bathurst was looking good, and Sandown was obviously fantastic. And then this weekend's been a good one. So it's a nice way to finish off this chapter of my career, and certainly getting pole and second today was probably about as good as you could have hoped for. So, it's a nice way to put a nice full stop on the HRT period of my life. And HRT, as we know, it's changing and moving on. So, it's everyone's sort of probably going to look a bit different next year with their different uniforms on and different painted cars, and just go to bed tonight, have a few beers with guys, and go to bed tonight, and then start thinking about the future.
I was wondering about the order you were going through there.
What's that?
Well, the beers, the bed, the guys.
Still pretty close with some of the guys in the team.
Alrighty, we've seen a massive year of racing. Congratulations, Shane. Good luck to next year, guys, and we'll see you in Adelaide.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me.